One of the questions, though, that was asked, and it is an important one to a lot of people, is the issue of Jay Jones. Do you think that he should end his candidacy?
The Republicans want us to concede. Virginia law would make it, if he dropped out, then we would be conceding the election to Jason Mears. That's not going to happen. We got to continue the election. The voters have already begun voting and casting their ballots. What we need to be continuing to focus on is that these two ladies last night, it's not about them. I mean, we have a historic election here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, the first time ever that a woman will become governor of Virginia. The two women had the spotlight last night, and all we want to do is talk about these two men. So we need to continue to focus on those two ladies that are out there working hard, trying to earn the vote. And Abigail Spanberger, I believe, has done.
Senator, do you still support Jay Jones? You do. What do you think he should drop out of this race after those comments?
I just answered your question.
You have concerns about what you saw?
The comments are completely indefensible. I've known Jay Jones for 25 years, and those comments are very much out of character for him. So if I put the comments, which are clearly beyond the pale, against knowing this guy for 25 years, I'm still a supporter of Jay Jones. What do you think about this?
Would you vote for him if you lived in Virginia?
That would be a very, very tough one for me to look at. It's just really wrong, and it bothers me.
There's also speculation that Beshear is going to run for president in 2028. We asked
that we have transparency and that there is a clear market in order to be enforced, because it is in the absence of an open and clear and extraordinarily transparent market that law enforcement is not able to.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Ms. Spanberger, your time is up. Now we'll go to Ms. Earle-Sears on decision.
Boy. So we got to talk about an absolutely humiliating and pathetic debate performance last night during the Virginia gubernatorial debate between Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Republican Miss Winsome Earle-Sears. Okay, as Abigail Spanberger had the spotlight on her due to the fact that, hey, she should be able to answer basic questions that have basic and simple answers, right? Answers that at this point Democrats should be able to get correct. But because of how extreme the Democrat Party has become, because of how far left the Democrat Party has become, these questions don't really have the simple answers that they should have in a sane world, right? With a sane Democrat Party. Somebody like Abigail Spanberger is supposed to represent the middle. She's supposed to represent the moderate Democrat. And I just want to show you guys just how not moderate she is. First and foremost, I want to start with a basic question, right, about biology that Democrats at this point should be able to get right, but for whatever reason, they're still struggling with this very, very, very basic question and this topic that they seem to not really want to concede defeat over. Take a look.
Again, the question was, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams in K through 12? You have 15 seconds to clarify.
In cases across Virginia, I think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to make decisions locally.
That's what this is about.
Ms. Earle-Sears?
There should never be nude men in locker rooms.
Oh, my goodness, we finally have her saying that, but you voted for that.
Ms. Earle-Sears.
Have you finally
my opponent
Ms. Earle-Sears, you are just
lying.
intruding on
Are
time
we in
here.
agreement now? Are you
Ms.
going to
Earle-Sears,
tell?
this is Ms. Spanberger's time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers and educators, are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community. And that is important. And I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
And as someone who used to investigate crimes against children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding law enforcement and public safety.
But Ms. Spanberger, the question was, Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes,
and my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be dictated by politicians.
Wow. 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 It is beyond me. It is beyond me that Democrats can't get this right on this 90-10 issue. Honestly, I think it's a 95-5 issue at this point. 99, maybe 1% issue, right? To be honest with you. Why is it that they just can't get this basic thing right? The answer to the question, should biological girls be able to compete against biological boys in sports or the other way around? The answer to that question is no. Should biological boys be allowed in girls' bathrooms? No. That's it. That's it. It's easy. But again, she can't answer the question. The reason why she can't answer the question is because she doesn't want to piss off the far left. And on top of that, she can't commit to maintaining the current law as is, right? Because she likely is going to be, again, one of these people that markets herself as a moderate Democrat. And then once she gets into office, she starts to then show the voters that, yeah, I'm not really moderate, right? I'm a far left loony, right? I mean, and you got to be a far left loony at this point to not be able to answer that question. But again, this is where the Democrat Party's at. They have made zero progress. Again, this is supposed to be the moderate Democrat, guys. This is supposed to be the moderate. The moderate can't even take a solid stance on something as simple and basic. Again, 80-20 issue. Like biological boys competing against girls in sports. Or biological boys being in girls' bathroom. Can't take a strong stance on it. Right? What's even more shocking, okay, and maybe getting a little less shocking, the more that you actually learn about how radical these Democrats are, is that they cannot come out and denounce and demand that the Virginia Democrat Attorney General candidate, Jay Jones, drop out of the race for being caught fantasizing in text messages about killing Republicans. He also claimed that police officers should be killed, okay, in order to understand the harm that they do to communities, right? They need to feel the pain, right, that they cause in communities, I guess, when they unjustly shoot people, whatever, right? Again, this guy is a far left whack job. He's probably Antifa, to be honest with you. And again, for whatever reason, Democrats cannot come out here with a straight face and just say, hey, what he said was wrong. And on top of that, he is not qualified to be attorney general. He should drop out. Like, we can't have these type of people in public office. Like, this is a no-brainer. And for whatever reason, again, Democrats are just sticking by their guy, right, that fantasizes about killing Republicans.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. I didn't hear an answer there on the endorsement issue, so I want to just make sure. Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many years.
What did you do about it?
I learned of these text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them.
She denounces murder.
And importantly, at this point, as we move forward, the voters now have this information that was withheld for them.
You're running to
presumably for political reasons. But the voters now have the information, and it is up to voters to make an individual choice based on this information.
Ms. Spanberger, I understand what you're saying about the voters, but for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about her lieutenant governor nominee.
Ms. Earle-Sears.
And it's up to every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. We just want to clarify, what you're saying is that as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General.
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words that I say, for the acts that I take, for the policies that I have put out.
Thank you.
I am responsible for the policies I put out and the work I will endeavor to do tirelessly for the people of Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
Well, I think as everybody knows, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian before I'm a Republican, and I'm required to forgive people. And it's hard sometimes when somebody has abused you, etc., but it's something you must do, because not to forgive is almost like, as someone said, you drink poison thinking that it's going to affect the other person. And I want to live a decent life, and I don't want to not have peace in my life. And so as I've said before, I would not say that. So that's why I'm wondering why my opponent won't say, beyond it's abhorrent and disgusting, why she won't say it is not okay and that he must leave the race, because Jay Jones advocated the murder, Abigail, the murder of a man, a former speaker, as well as his children who were 2 and 5 years old. You have little girls. What would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail? You're running to be governor. I don't understand why you just can't come forward and say he needs to go. I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it? Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up for all the people. Are you saying political murder is all right?
Yeah, that's exactly what she's saying, right? And I would say that this is a mask-off moment for Democrats, but it's not a mask-off moment, because the mask-off moment was their reaction to Charlie Kirk being assassinated, right? You have far-left lunatics celebrating. So again, this is not a mask-off moment anymore. This is just the Democrat Party confirming that, yeah, we're totally fine with our political opponents being murdered, as long as it helps us, right? If it helps us maintain power and control, who gives a shit? Right? Who cares? Who cares if the Attorney General fantasizes about killing Republicans? Who cares if the Attorney General doesn't support law enforcement, right? Thinks that law enforcement should be shot, should be killed, right? In order to feel pain, right? Who cares about any of that stuff? As long as we win, right? As long as we win, who cares? Who cares? That is basically the motto of the Democrat Party at this point. Who cares? They don't. They don't care at all. And this is why I think that the so-called moderate Democrat is dead. There's no such thing as a moderate Democrat. You are not a moderate if you cannot answer the simple question about biological boys competing against girls in sports or being in their bathrooms. If you can't stand up to that, right, which again is the easiest thing, if you can't come out and give a solid stance on that, you're not a moderate. I don't care what else you believe. I don't give a damn about what else you believe. You're not a moderate. If you can't come out here and condemn political violence and to say, hey, you know what? This guy may be on my team. He may be a Democrat, but I don't want people on my team that fantasize about murdering their political opponents, especially becoming the top cop in the state of Virginia, which makes it even worse. It makes it even worse. The top cop. We're not talking about a rep. Again, it would be bad if it was a rep too, right? We're talking about a law enforcement position. Like, can you imagine, right? This is like discovering the chief of police fantasizing about killing people that he disagrees with, right? Like, how can you expect that person to do his job? Or saying that, hey, well, I think that some of my officers should be shot in order to feel the pain, right? Again, people would say, yeah, that's totally unacceptable. But for an attorney general, like we're talking, again, the top cop in the state, this woman can't say with a straight face that he should drop out. She won't even unendorse him. She endorsed the guy. I say, okay, well, do you still endorse him? Well, see, it's up to the voters to make a decision. And I hope the voters do make their decision. I hope that if you are a decent person in Virginia, right? At some point, again, you got to stand up for DC. This is what we're against. Right? This is what we're against at this point. If you're a decent person, how can you square voting for Jay Jones or voting for Abigail Spanberger, who cannot even denounce what Jay Jones said and what he did in his candidacy? How can you vote for people like that with a straight face, with a conscience? So how can you vote for that? Mark Robinson in North Carolina, his campaign got destroyed by some hit job on CNN. right? About him, I don't know, doing something on the internet. I don't know. Something he said in his own private personal life. Not nearly as bad as what this guy, an attorney general, said. That ruined him. Ruined his campaign, right? But this dude in Virginia, who again is running for attorney general, fantasizing about killing Republicans and their children too, on top of their children. Let's not forget about their children. Well, see, it's up to Virginians to make a decision. It's not my job as a leader to actually lead and to say that, hey, I'm going to take a leadership position on this and say, hey, we should not support this as Democrats. We should be above this. This is not the type of politics that we should support, regardless if it's one of our guys. If we got to lose the race, hey, it is what it is. He should not have said it. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. They'll never do it. And, then Democrats sit around and want to point the finger at Republicans. Well, see, it's up to them to make political violence stop in this country. It's up to them. They're the problems. While at the same time, again, they can't even denounce a guy that said he wants to kill Republicans. They're fantasizing about killing Republicans. While you've had assassination attempts against the former president, you had assassination attempts against GOP Congress members, Supreme Court justices, and activists. At every level, conservatives have been targeted for assassinations. And Democrats got candidates. They're endorsing candidates that agree with it. Right? They're endorsing candidates that agree with it. But then they'll tell you, well, see, no, it's Republicans. They're the ones that are the problems, right? While at the same time, their constituents, their base of far-left loonies, are committing acts of violence every single day for the world to see. And then they pretend like it doesn't exist, right? It's not a thing. So this is extremely frustrating, right? It really is. And this is why I'm encouraging people to go out and vote in New Jersey, in Virginia, vote, okay? If we can win these elections, right, we can essentially destroy any hopes that Democrats have of reviving their party. It is super important to teach Democrats that, no, you're not going to be a viable party. You're never going to gain back power if this is what you are endorsing. If you're explicitly endorsing violence against your political opponents, you're not going to win elections. If you want to be associated with it, if you want to coddle it, if you want to be in bed with these far-left extremists, the rest of the country, 75% of the country is going to reject you en masse. That is the message that has to be sent, and this is why Virginians and people in New Jersey need to vote. People need to vote in these elections that are coming up in less than a month. People got to get out and vote in droves, because we cannot allow Democrats to continue to get power and control, because look at what they're endorsing. They're endorsing political violence against their opponents. So it is incumbent upon conservatives, Republicans, decent people, independents, to get out there and to vote against these maniacs. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.